What's up, everybody? Lou from Hypocritic here, back on the show floor at PAX East 2024. We are here with Melanie and Aurelien from Humble Reeds to talk about Kamaeru, a Frog Refuge. Thank you both so much for taking some time out at the end of the show to talk about the game. So in your own words, please tell us a little more about Kamaeru.
So Kamaeru is a frog collecting game where you take pictures of the frog to add them to your Frogedex. And in order to make the best frog refuge possible, you're going to restore the wetlands. And the more the wetlands are restored and the rarer frogs appear, and you can use the resources from the wetlands to fund the refuge.
Excellent. Now, it's described online as sort of a cozy farm sim, right? And in that sort of genre of cozy games, which we're seeing more and more of nowadays, it brings a lot of value and comfort to players when they are able to just dig into something very, very approachable and cute like this. From both an art and a gameplay perspective, can you talk a little about how the concept was formed to fit into that sort of cozy game genre and make it really approachable for players?
Yeah, maybe two examples. There's no time constraint, for example, in the game design, so that makes it really a chill game. And there are quests, objectives, but when you have achieved a quest, for example, you just push a button if you want to go further. If you don't, then you can just go on playing. And we've seen that because some players were sometimes complaining about dialogue panels popping up right in the middle of filming or making a camera shot of a frog or having fun with the game, so they don't want that. So lots of little game design decisions have been made to make it really chill and wholesome, and having a good time is really the important thing for players in that type of game. And maybe the art also is important.
Yeah, the art is a watercolor-ish style, which is very pastel, very soft. There's no bright color coming at you, and this is really important for us to give players a nice experience. We want them to feel relaxed playing Kamaeru, and so we took all the design decision in that sense.
Okay, and it really shows when it all comes together. I think it's so cute and so comfortable to play in motion. Was the project always like this? Did it always start as we want to make a cozy farm sim, base it on frogs, here's what it's going to look like? Or did the design and the art sort of evolve as you went along?
I mean, it evolved a bit, but it was always about collecting frogs and having a farming sim part in the wetlands. But some details have changed. We initially wanted to have a character that you would customize, but that was a lot for a two-person team with some help. So we decided against that, and we decided that it would be the story of Cleo going back to her childhood friend, Axel. And so that the Frog Refuge has a whole customization part. So you can recolor every furniture, not all furniture, we can recolor a lot of furniture, and you can place them wherever you want. So we wanted that decoration theme into the game, and customization of the character was part of that, but we couldn't make it in the end.
As it goes sometimes, right? So in terms of just the general concept of the game, again, a cozy farm sim based around frog collecting, where did that initial idea come from, just in terms of putting it all together from the very start?
Yeah, well, there's a game called Neko Atsume, for example, with cats popping up in furniture. That was kind of an inspiration for us to find a mechanism where you have frogs actually popping in furniture in a wetland. And wetlands is something important for us because it's there's an environmental aspect to it. Wetlands are very useful for capturing carbon, so it's a pragmatic and useful way of fighting against climate change. So we thought it's interesting to connect both, having a wetland farming simulation and then frogs, because frogs like wetlands, so it's combined, and it really creates this kind of unique flavor of having those two aspects combined in one game.
Yeah, and it shows with that sort of carbon control and biodiversity mechanics as you build out the areas. I think that does all come together quite nicely. Now, a two-person team, as you mentioned, both of you doing all of the work required to bring the game to life. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges or some of the interesting things about working with such a small team to bring such an ambitious game like this to life? How has that development process been for both of you?
I mean, it's been really great because we can iterate so much, and we can go very fast, just the two of us, just exchanging ideas and then just implementing them, seeing if they work. So it's really agile and fast development. We do have some help on the side for For example, animation, some music, of course, like everything that Armor Games does in terms of supporting us, getting the game out. But being a two-person team is a bit challenging with the level of work you have to put out, but it's very satisfying, I think.
Yeah, and I guess the key to that is making the games you can make and not necessarily the games you want to make. So, scoping is very important. Not getting into too much feature creep and being able to say, let's do this thing because we can do it together. Otherwise, we would need to be 10 people in the team, and so let's just not do it and waste time with it. That's kind of the key, I guess.
Scope creep is real.
Yeah.
Feature creep is very, very real. I do remember that. Now, talking about Armor Games for a second, the publisher, from your perspective, being a very small team doing a lot of work on the game yourself, what is the experience like from your perspective working with an external publisher, getting resources and help from them? What sort of assistance have they provided, and how are you working in conjunction with them to ultimately release the game?
Well, it's been very great so far, I can say, because Armor Games supports the game through funding, so they give it the sufficient funds so we can pay for our salaries and also the help that we need. But they also support us on the marketing side. They do so also on the testing side. It is so important. They have internal QA, and that really helps from the day-to-day to iron out the bugs as they come and not overwhelming at once at the end.
Sure.
And they support us also for translation, for localization, and for all kinds of stuff. It's really great to have an external point of view on your game, and they are not pushing any design decision on us. They let us have all the creativity that we want. So it's been great so far.
Yeah, and in terms of timing, when you are coming towards the launch of the game, it's super important to be also doing the marketing, and it's very difficult to do both things at the same time. So that's why it's very helpful to have external people helping you with the marketing in the like 3-4 last months before launching the game, and that's what's happening now.
Sure. All right. Makes perfect sense. Now, with the game development progressing, is there anything about this game in particular that either of you are really excited about in terms of one specific feature, one specific, even piece of art or piece of story that you were just really, really excited about? Is the whole thing just really exciting? Is it hard to pick one particular thing out? What's anything in mind there?
Yeah, I mean, the whole game is about a short storyline, and there are cutscenes that are really beautiful, and I really can't wait until players reach a certain cutscene that is beautifully animated, and I really love it, so I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome.
Now I'd like to know what cutscene this is. Yeah, I know. But no, it's all of it coming together. That's really what's really nice, because you're working a lot of little features here and there, and it's really when you see everything coming together and kind of clicking together, and everything working, and then you see people like at a show like PAX here playing, and you see that actually what they're doing is exactly what you wanted them to do, or what they are experiencing is what you really were looking forward, and so that's really extremely gratifying and pleasant.
Yeah, and how has the reaction been at the show so far with people playing?
It's been amazing. We also had a demo out for Next Fest on Steam, and for a couple months. So we saw streamers play the game live, and that was really an amazing experience. And we saw a lot of people coming at the booth and saying, "Oh my God, that's so cute! Look at this cute baby frog," and stuff. And this is really, really great to see as developers. It's really gratifying. It's really great.
Yeah, giving pleasure to players. I mean, that's really what we were looking forward to. So if it happens, we're happy.
That's the joy of it, right? A couple more questions for you. Under the hood, especially given the scope and size of the game, independent development team, access to the technology and resources to build it is really important. Can you talk a little bit about what's under the hood? What does the game run on? What are some of the technologies you're using to bring it to life?
Oh, we're very happy to talk about that, because it's for us it's super important. We're working with Godot, which is an open source engine, and it's really just in this context nowadays just perfect, because you have it's free, and it's made by a lot of people all around the world, 2,000 contributors working on the engine, and also it's very lightweighted, and because we are really conscious of environmental problems, we want to keep things light. It's very important for us to have like a something that works well, but is very small and lightweighted and clicks really fast. And we've been very happy with it. It really works well.
Great, that's good to hear. And Godot, I think you're starting to even hear a little bit more and more about as it picks up tractions. Even some larger commercial games starting to use it, which is interesting. So, in terms of then approaching this sort of project from an independent perspective, having a little bit of experience with it, would you have any initial thoughts or recommendations maybe to people who are trying to build their own games, but they are maybe just a small 1-2 person team and maybe they don't know where to start or they find it kind of daunting? What would you recommend to them?
Well, it depends if you have previous experience with games or not. But if you don't, I would recommend trying to copy a game actually, not to release it, but to learn from it, how to make certain mechanics, how do you reproduce them, so you don't have the design decision to make. So actually copy games that are currently out is a good way to practice. And for people that try to get their first original game out, I would just say don't overscope, but you're going to do it anyway. So really make the game that you can and just cut everything you can.
And like, I think there's a famous brand with a slogan like, just do it. So, I mean, that's really the point. Just do stuff and get it out on the market and, don't think too much about it. I think that's really what you should do.
Yeah, like every game, shipping a game is a miracle every time. So just do stuff, do it fast, ship it, and go to the next one. That's the best way to go.
Make and create is the takeaway there. Last question then. If players want to learn more about Kamaeru, where can they find out more? When's it coming out and on what platforms?
So it's coming out in the next few months. We are saying like mid-24. And also you can find everything on frog.games. This is our website. So you can find the Steam page, the socials, the Discord, everything. And also the demo is still up on Steam, so everyone can play the demo and try it out at home and with the chill, cozy music in it.
Fantastic. All right, well, really looking forward to it. Thank you both so much for the time. Really, really appreciate it. And keep it tuned here to Hypocritic for more from PAX East all weekend long.